Don't turn around. If Zhang Gu had known the outcome would be this tragic, he would never have taken Xiao Hao to Yuhuang Mountain Forest Park. Xiao Hao was his girlfriend. She weighed only 40 kilograms, thin and fragile, and her body always felt cold, as if she produced no heat at all. Her voice was always soft, her words often lacking confidence. They had lived together for 2 years, but had never registered for marriage. Zhang Gu worked as a secretary in an office. His only strength was writing excellent summaries. Xiao Hao was a cashier at an advertising company, dealing with money all day long. Neither of them were the romantic type. Yet on this particular day, Zhang Gu had a sudden urge to take Xiao Hao out into nature. Xiao Hao asked where they were going, her tone disinterested. Zhang Gu told her it was Yuhuang Mountain Forest Park, a place he had heard was worth visiting. The park was 60 kilometers from the city, and neither of them had been there before. Xiao Hao asked if it might be dangerous. She was timid and overly cautious. Zhang Gu reassured her. What danger could a tourist attraction possibly pose? She suggested waiting until the May holiday, but he said there would be too many people then. Instead, he proposed taking a couple of days off from work. They'd leave tomorrow. They set out in the morning. The sun was shining. Their mood was light. The Jeep Zhang Gu had borrowed from his company was old and drafty, with no heating, and the windows leaked air. There had been no snowfall for days. The cold was dry and sharp. Fortunately, they were both bundled in thick down jackets. His was blue, hers was red, striking against the bleak backdrop. They arrived quickly. Yuhuang Mountain was an untouched forest. There were no man-made attractions. Leaving behind the few brick buildings at the management office, they drove about 5 kilometers deeper into the woods and stopped to have lunch. Zhang Gu had brought her favorite, fried pork liver. The surrounding mountains rose and fell in waves. The forest stretched endlessly, devoid of human presence. The sky had turned gray. After lunch, just as they were about to explore, Xiao Hao pointed toward something in the distance. She asked Zhang Gu what it was. He looked. Behind a tree stood a strange animal. To describe it best, one might start by imagining a fox, but this creature leaned forward, its front paws lifted off the ground in a semi-upright posture. Its fur was green. It had no ears, and its tail was missing. Its eyes were large, unnaturally so, and deeply unsettling. The creature stood just 30 meters away, silently observing them. Its gaze carried a disturbing semblance of human intelligence. Xiao Hao clung to Zhang Ji's shoulder and whispered that it might eat them. Zhang Gu feigned composure. He told her not to worry and that he'd chase it away. He picked up a thick branch and strode toward it. Though his face looked fierce, he was trembling inside. The creature remained still, coldly watching him approach. Zhang Ji's steps grew slower. He suddenly felt something icy fall on his cheek. Looking up, he saw snowflakes descending from the sky. He stopped when he was about 10 meters from the creature. Fear rooted him in place. They stared at each other. He didn't know what to do. From behind, Xiao Hao watched silently. Zhang Gu, being a man, felt he couldn't back down. He decided to scare it off and shouted at the top of his lungs. The creature remained unfazed. Zhang Gu threw the branch. It hit the tree next to it. The creature didn't even flinch. Its eyes stayed locked on his. Panic started to rise in him. Then, the creature lifted one front limb, more like an arm than a leg, and pointed toward the direction of the management office, as if ordering them to turn back. Zhang Gu sensed danger. Something terrible was waiting out there. He retreated quickly and told Xiao how they needed to get back to the car and leave immediately. Much later, he would come to believe that the creature had not been pointing toward safety, but toward death. What he thought was the way back to the management office had in fact led them deeper into the forest. The snowfall grew heavier, and soon the entire forest was a blur of white. Zhang Gu drove for a long time, but the management buildings never appeared. The scenery around them became more and more unfamiliar. What he didn't realize was that they had turned onto an old logging road, heading straight into the heart of the wilderness. His mood grew heavier. His eyes were fixed on the swirling snow ahead. Neither of them spoke. He could feel Xiao Hao occasionally turning to watch his face, searching for any signs of how bad things really were. The sky darkened. The snow deepened. The jeep began to skid and struggle. Finally, it got stuck in a snowdrift and couldn't move. Zhang Gu tried shifting between drive and reverse, revving the engine loudly. But the wheels only dug deeper into the snow. Eventually, he gave up, slumped in the seat, and stared straight ahead, his expression grim. Xiao Hao's voice trembled as she asked whether they were trapped. Zhang Gu said yes. They had no choice but to continue on foot. Xiao Hao didn't argue. She obediently nodded. They pulled their jackets tighter, abandoned the jeep, and began walking. Zhang Gu tore the red seat cover from the jeep, ripped it into strips, and tied them to trees along the way to mark their path. They trudged through the snow, disoriented in body, eyes, and mind. Darkness was falling, and they still hadn't found the management office. The shadow of death crept closer with the night. The story isn't over yet. Your like is the curse that keeps the horror alive.